Michelle and I wanted to take a few minutes and kind of cut from the videos. And had we had more time, we would have done a full-on kind of bodybuilding past the mic. But we did want to get people home before dinner, which that's a good thing. But we prayed about asking a few people to answer just a few questions. 2 questions, not 3. Questions are, what has this church meant to them in the past 6 months? What has the Lord done in their life for the past year? And then the third bonus question of anything else they want to talk about. I scared Lisa and Bradley earlier. I was like, all right, 3 questions. And they were like, 3? You said 2. And then once I got up off the ground, I explained my piece. But Michelle, is there anything that you wanted to talk about before we ask the questions?
I could, just for a minute. It's been a year, and Tim's been a great part of what's been going on here, and super blessed by that. I think of what I'd like to share is when this campus initially kicked off, the thing that we wanted to emphasize the most was that we were a welcoming community here, that everybody was welcome. There is no place for judgment, and we just wanted you to be part of the family and the things that are going on here. And I mean, you guys are awesome. When new people are coming in, you're very welcoming, you're very warm, and that's just blessed my heart so much. As we're going forward, I had the opportunity to visit a church that's in Merlin that we're looking at as a River Valley church. And I got to meet with some of the members there. And it was kind of interesting. They're looking, they shared their story with us. They've been in that community for, I want to say, 40 years. Yep, they were there from the very beginning. They had a vision. God gave them a great vision for building that campus out, and it's just beautiful. It's 13 acres out there. And one of the things they shared with us, though, is that while they had this vision and they were building it out and they had plans for continuing to build it out, there were 60 of them in their congregation to accomplish this. There was so much emphasis for what God was doing with just 60 people. And the thing that was fascinating is that as they were building this out and their dream was becoming this reality, their denomination closed their doors. But they decided that they were going to persevere, which was super encouraging. And they continued to do the work out there that God had for them. Then COVID hit. And they asked their congregation to take some time and pray about what would God have you do through this time of COVID? What should you be doing? We want to pray together as a community, and then we'll, continue to touch base. Well, what happened is that they started, because they're an older congregation now, they started to go and be with their kids, or they left the area. And what happened is that campus eventually closed their doors. They aged out is what happened. And so I was so touched by that, because one of the other things that I think is super important as a church body is that we should be an invitational church so that we can continue to grow into, like Mark said up here, the next generation. And so I think in our next year, as we're looking and we're continuing to work on being a welcoming church, let's strive also to be an invitational church and continue to invite our friends and family and be an encouragement in that way. And so I'm super excited for the coming year and seeing what God's going to have unfold here as this campus continues to grow and develop into what He has for it. So with that being said, how has Sunny Valley impacted you?
That's not the question I heard.
You can do anything you want, John, almost.
Hey. So, as Tim mentioned, I've had a whole week to think about these questions. And the first one was really hard. What has the church meant to me? And I keep coming back to the same thing over and over. I thought about different things to say to make the church sound better, sound smarter, something funny, But what I keep coming back to is it's new hope. The church is just new hope for me. And I don't have a whole lot to expand on it, but church is my hope.
Yeah. So I feel exactly the same way. It's like I get up every single day and Jesus and serving through the church, through the rock, through the mission. Those are my other 2 passions. I just think that it is my joy. It is my peace. It's my my just going through life. I don't feel right if I'm not doing it, actually. So, and I think it's great what's happening out here with the church. I mean, it's a shining light out here in some really dark, everybody knows. So, and we just need to keep being that shining light and try to get people to come, see that we're not this judgmental thing that everybody thinks we are, you know. Just be really loving and accepting. Beat that.
It's funny, no matter how much you prepare and you read and I want to say something, and then when you get in front of people and you spill something from the heart, how everything you studied and prepared for just went out the door. But Sunny Valley, the church to me is, see if I can do this without crying, the edification, my maturity in Christ, my new family, and closer bonds with my family. It has my maturity and my relationship has grown with my neighbors and my friends and my husband and in the community for the community. And it is my love to help, but with my newfound family, I found something else that I really like to do at the Rock.
Go Rock.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
If you guys do get a chance and want to volunteer for something, the food bank would love help from Christ. So that's our first question, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you just want to?
Oh, okay.
The second one.
Kind of blended them in together. Okay.
Beat that. Right?
Beat that.
What was the second question?
What the Lord has done for you in the last year, and I do
Yeah,
hope that, as Lisa said,
Look,
those do blend together. But
I'm like in the front row seat of three of God's works. It's just amazing. It's absolutely stunning what they're doing at the mission, gospel rescue mission, just changing lives. Because it's people in there that want to change their lives. It's not just a place like it used to be where you just go in and take a shower, eat a hot meal, and leave. It's actually changing lives there. And then the Rock is up to like 500 families a week, maxed out. I mean, that's just huge, the people I see coming through there. And then the church out here is just I mean, this is just beginning out here. It's going to be awesome. You know, God is going to change things out here. Yeah. I do have one serious complaint, though. I just wonder as a congregation why we're not having pie eating contests. I wonder that.
we didn't want to show you every trick up our sleeve yet.
We're growing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we know May's potluck is going to be a pie eating contest.
Well, let's see what God has done in my life in the last 6 months. That was really easy for me. I mean, I look back at my last 6 months. We've had some sketchy situations on the ocean. You know, when you have to call Coast Guard and them come out 25 miles to find you, you know, that's when you become a believer. Your belief comes a lot stronger. Any unbelievers on the boat, they believe by the end of the day, you know. But I suppose mostly what God has done in my life in the last 6 months is put me in a new church. He's gave me new hope. To say the least, I was pretty burned out and stale at the last place we were at. It wasn't it for me, you know. And I believe this is, you know, it's so community oriented, and that's what we have to be. We have to be reaching out to everybody, you know, even the bums we see, you know, the heroin addicts, whatever, you know. We have to reach out to everybody.
So I'm hearing a few new ideas generated, a pie eating contest, and then a new form of evangelism. Get a bunch of people who don't believe in God, put them in a boat, send them 25 miles out to the ocean, wait a few hours. No, I appreciate that. I just kind of had one thought. Well, if I'm allowed to answer the question, I think I've shared this story before, right? Like what's what's happened in the last year, what this church has meant to us. This is a whole new chapter for Rach and I. And I was reminiscing a lot in March. That was kind of March last year was when the team had kind of talked to me about taking on this role. And then this serve last year was when it kind of became a reality. And Rach and I were just blown away about what has happened in a year in the church, even like church leadership, in our lives. And life for like Rachel and I hasn't really been easy. Obviously, we all go through things, right? We all have hurdles. But life's been really fun for us. It has been really fun. And a large reason of that is this church. Talk about community-oriented, like Clara's back there making noises, right? And everyone's just kind of smiling, or there's been some babies and they make a little cry and everyone just turns and goes, oh, and it's not this, how can I help you shut up your baby? But it's like, how can I help you, like mother of a baby? And there's just this community-oriented vibe in here, and that's obviously what we prayed for and what we wanted. And I think I might have shared this story before, but there's a couple that came in and they left real quick, and I was in life group with the Joneses and the Langs, and I was like, man, I forgot to say hi to them. Like, they left before I could, and Peggy was like, yeah, me too. I really tried. And I was like, oh my gosh, like this whole church we're all the greeters, right? We're all here in this together. And one of the most transformative things that was said to me was when I came on board, right? Kind of this responsibility of, all right, you're the pastor. It's all on your shoulders. And I get in Michelle's office and she's like, we are so excited for you to join this adventure that we're on. And I was like, I'm not alone. That's not on me. Honestly, what's on me is to join this family that's already here. So real quick, I just want to, 1 Corinthians came to my mind when talking about the body. So a few verses in chapter 12. In fact, some parts of the body that seem the weakest and least important are actually the most necessary. The parts we regard as less honorable are those we clothe with the greatest care. We carefully protect those parts that should not be seen, while the more honorable parts do not require this special care. So God has put the body together such that extra honor and care are given to those parts that have less dignity. But this is what spoke out to me, verse 25. This makes for harmony among the members so that all members care for each other. And if you are a believer, then you are part of the body of Christ here. And our roles are to care for each other and honor each other. And I just see that day in and day out here at Sunny Valley. So just blessed to be a part of this family, blessed to have the role that I do, and we're excited for the ride. And I'm excited for this time next year to hear the new joys that come out. So for anybody, anything else before we?
Lisa and I went out on Friday and picked up the new playground equipment that Sunny Valley is installing for Serve GP. This will be a multi-stage project, and we're really excited about it. I mean, come on, you guys. A playground in Sunny Valley. Wow. So, yeah, we're just a little excited. And thank you, Friends of Country Living, honestly, for going after 3 separate grants, working really hard. That's Debbie Lawwell. She's not here. Really went after it, and the foundations that we got to work with were so inspired and encouraged by what's happening here in Sunny Valley. They want to partner with us in the future as well. So on the 13th, we're going to be coring holes and setting up part of the equipment and getting ready for concrete to pour, so that on the 20th, when we're doing our official Serve GP, we'll just be erecting the rest of the playground. Our first one ever. So I'm super excited about that. Serve GP is going to be amazing out here.
Yeah. Well, we are going to enter into anything else from you three? All right. And this isn't the only time. If you ever have anything else you want to share, yes. Well, now I want to enter into our last part of the service. There's going to be testimonies from each campus, lives that have just been transformed. And this is, and we have these moments in our leadership meetings, right? Mark will be like, all right, campus updates, what's going on? And people will share these stories. You know, someone at my campus was delivered from this sin or escaped this, and just goosebumps. So this is the goosebump time, and then afterwards I will kind of talk about what our potluck looks like. But give it a round of applause for these three And just a few of the stories here at Sunny Valley. And Jessica, roll the video.